Hi everyone. So welcome to the lab portion of the second module on footprinting and reconnaissance. So as you remember that in our last class, we discussed how there are possible ways to collect information on target, host, people, network, and other systems such as web servers and other devices. Today we'll be covering a little bit of the details on the tools that are used for footprinting and reconnaissance. For this class, you would need Kali as a distribution. I hope that is available in the lab environment that you have, as well as you would need access to some of the tools that I would be displaying. There are some Windows-based tools also, and there are some Linux-based tools also. Some tools are already shared in the default distribution of Kali, and in Windows, you might have to install those tools. So you need to have administrative rights to install them. The first tool that I wanted to actually, there's a list of tools is not complete in this particular lab, and there are some additional tools that I have which you should like have a look at. So as you see, I'll just zoom in a little bit for this PDF. So the tools that are related to finding subdomains and doing people search and copying website data on a local machine for offline analysis. Then you have tools to trace the emails. Then there are some DNS recon tools such as Whois Lookup and Path Analyzer Pro. And then you can actually create diagrams and graphs between various entities which are related to a company or a target domain that you're planning to do recon on. For doing network reconnaissance, you have Recon NG, which is by default available in Kali. And then you have frameworks such as Metasploit and information gathering tool such as Harvester. So we'll cover all of these in this particular session. Let us first understand how to use basic ping utility which is there available in Windows. So if you have Windows, you can actually see and follow through these steps that I show on the screen, or else you can actually go through it later. So there are some basic why this these tools are required for you to actually understand these tools. Why there is a requirement? Because sometimes you don't have access to internet, and also sometimes access to the outside network is not allowed. So these kind of tools comes in handy, wherein you have to understand the underlying network and what kind of a packet frame size you can set, and how you can actually communicate with the IPs across the network. Ping is the very basic utility. It follows ICMP protocol, and it just sends a reply to the request that you send to a target host. So let me just show it to you. So this is Windows. To start the ping, you need to actually launch command prompt, which you can search with the keyword CMD. So it's like once you launch the command prompt in Windows, you need to write ping. Then you need to write the name of the target. Say I would say ping www.certifiedhacker.com. So by default, you would see that sometimes even if you don't know the IP of a particular host, then you can make use of this tool to find out the IP of the host. Okay. Now I just pressed up arrow to go back to this particular command on the command prompt, and then I'm typing -f, and I'm going to set some kind of a size to this frame packet, which is also called MTU. The MTU size I'm going to put, say, 1400. So what's the meaning of F? So if there is some kind of a help you want to see from a command line tool such as ping, you can actually use ping with / and question mark. So I'll just scroll it down for you to have a look at various options which are available with this tool. So as you can see that for -f, you are going to set the particular flag to don't fragment this particular packet. This particular flag should be on, and then you would actually, with -L option, you would set the size of a particular packet. If you don't set this size, then automatically you won't be able to figure out what is the maximum packet size that you can send in a particular network segment. So why we want to find out this information from a network segment as to what maximum size of a packet can travel in a network segment? It's because if we have this information while designing our exploits, or while having this particular information available in exploit, we can evade any intrusion detection system without raising any particular flag, because in the permissible limits of packet sizes which are allowed in a network, it is quite important. So let's try to give a large packet size of, say, 1500, and we can see that we are not getting any reply from the target host. So this kind of hit and trial you need to do as per the network segment you are in, to find out what is the appropriate maximum packet size that can be sent on a network. So we tried 1400. Let us try 1450. Again, you can see that this packet is not going through. By default, it ping sends 4 packets, and you can limit its count to 1 by giving option -n or tag n. So let's try to figure out and give 1430. Okay, we can see that on 40, between the value of a particular packet size needs to be between 1430 and 1450. Let's try to give 1435. Okay, so it's somewhere between 1430 and 35. Okay, we can see we are getting reply at 1432. Okay, so with this exercise, or with these steps, we have figured out that at 1432, the particular packet size, this is the maximum size of a particular packet which is allowed in this particular network segment. Now, for those who do not have access to Windows, let me give the same example on a Linux terminal. But the options on the Linux terminals are different. So just one example I'll give. You can say same command ping the name of the target, and you say minus m, specify its value as do fragmented, do not fragmented. Wait, I'll just, and then size of the packet. So here, if you see, size of the packet is being set with the minus s option or tag s, and the MTO size is being set with the help of tag m. And you have to actually use this particular option, do, to set that particular flag, the do not fragment. I'll just clear the screen. Ping. Where to find hacker.com minus m do, and set the packet size to, let's say, maybe we can set it again to 1432 to see whether we are getting a reply or not. Okay, for in Linux you might have to press Control C, because, or you have to limit these particular pings to 4 numbers by using the options when you actually see in the help. In Windows, by default, only 4 packets are set. So we see that, let's take it to 1470. So we again say that here on this particular segment, because I'm connected to a different network on Linux. So you can see that, the packet size, the maximum packet size will differ in this particular laptop. Okay, at 1472, again, I'm getting reply. And if in the guide, if you see, this is, but same size, which is also mentioned in the guide. So this was the command ping. Now let us move on to the next command called nslookup. So if in Linux, if you want to use nslookup, so there's one more thing I wanted to let you know at this point, that when, if you do not remember the complete name of a command, then you can actually press tab for it to autocomplete in the bash terminal. So say if I want to type nslookup and I type ns, and I press tab, then it will autocomplete that command for me. If you want to look at help, okay, it does not have that. So you can say nslookup, but before doing nslookup, you need to be aware of different record types which you want to query for the DNS or the name service. If you remember in the previous class, I gave examples on various types of records, wherein type A record is the address record. So say you want to query for that particular record using the DNS resolvers, then you need to set that record type using this command, set type as A, and then you need to specify the domain. We'll take the example of the same domain. So this is the default server or default IP which is being used for me to, on this particular laptop, which will get the name of the mapping from the mapping which is available. Okay, and then let us set the type of record to CNAME, and then again give the name of the target host. And you can say that we got a non-authoritative answer, and the canonical name or the CNAME for this particular host is also without www. we can actually do a reverse. We can actually copy from here and paste. So with double click, I'm able to copy, and with Shift Control C, I'm able to paste. So now when you actually give the canonical name, which is also the primary name, you'll get the origin host, which is the name server, the ns1.bluehost.com. So usually what happens is that these registrars who are there, so maybe the name of the registrar is Bluehost, and they have actually kept a name server called ns1. Okay, but you can use ns lookup on various online tools also, and it is widely available. Let's search for some tool, any tool which is there on Google. Okay. So I've gone to the first link which is there available with me called centralops.net. Okay, here I will actually give the name www.certifiedhacker.com, and I can click on go. So what this would do, the command, it will have a lot of other information which was probably not possible to query from the command line, but from the net it fetches out a lot of information, such as that whose information is available, then the other domain name information for certifiedhacker.com is available. The registrant name is there. The city is there where this particular network, network solutions PO Box 49, this particular company is there. Then their admin name, even a phone number. I don't know whether it's a valid email or not, but some kind of an email is also available. And there are some other utilities and that are there, such as doing an NS lookup or doing a trace route or even doing a ping. So in your free time, actually, you can have a look at this. It has a detailed information, and some of the DNS records have also been fetched for you. So these are the name of servers. So in our command line tool, we only got the name of ns1, and it was also non-authoritative. Then we have the A record. We have the exact IP, which is there, and there are some additional two name servers from unifiedlayer.com. So have a look at this. But on a basic note, we know how to query for DNSs using the web-based tools as well as the command line. Let us move on to the next section. So we've covered ping, we've covered NS lookup. Let's have a look at a tool called sublister in order to search for subdomains. Now, as you saw that when we were querying, information on certifiedhacker.com, we gave www dot. So this was, also called main domain. However, we want to know if there are some subdomains also regarding a particular company, or there are some other websites that they have hosted on the internet. So why this particular information is important? Why do you want to know about subdomains? It's because most of the vulnerabilities that you find, with the external, with respect to external systems, you would find them in their subdomains. There is some kind of a little corner that you will find which has vulnerabilities, and some of the other teams have probably skipped patching those particular servers. So here in this example, we'll check sublister. The penultimate e in this, while you spell this particular tool, has been replaced with 3. So if it is not available in your Kali distribution, then you can use the apt command, apt update and appy install to install it. So let me see if we already have it. So as I told you that once you click on sub and then click on tab, it will auto complete it for you. And in case if it is not available, then I can, if I'm not a root user, then I can use the word sudo, and I can say sudo app install sublister. So as you can see that it is already the newest version on my computer. So once it is installed, let us check various options which are available for it. So we specify tag D to give the domain name for which we want to enumerate subdomains, and we can use -d tag B option to enable the brute force module, and we can specify tag P for various ports that we want to scan on these subdomains. Then with if we want more messages while it is running, then we can specify with tag V for making it more verbose. And if we have better CPU, and we can run it multiple threads, then we can specify that with this option called tag-t. Then we can specify the name of the search engine where we want this particular tool to go and search. Okay, we can specify Google or Bing, and we can also comma separate them with. And TACO actually relates to saving this particular results to a file. And there is a little example which is given here to find all the subdomains that are available for google.com. I'll just clear the screen. So this is let's search sublister microsoft.com domains with sublister. As you can see, it is going to search on Baidu, Yahoo, Google, Ask. Then it's going to search on Netcraft database, VirusTotal database. I think VirusTotal it's not going to search because it's been blocked for our requests. And as you can see, it has found so many subdomains related to Microsoft.com. So what can be of our particular interest are the ones which can be probably exploitable. So we need to just collect this information before beginning the next phase of our attack as to, and then from this long list we need to actually, so we can see that there are so many devices which are actually relaying information on these subdomains relay.teams.microsoft. And this particular information is available by default on various other search engines that we have listed. So this was sublister, and there is an option of actually saving this particular information to a file. So that also we could do. So for later use, actually we could actually output it to a text file. So now the list will also be shown on the screen, as well as it will actually write it to that file. There are also additional online tools where this happens automatically, and there are various other options that are possible. I'll let you know when this class is about to get over. At that time, I'll let you know. So you can see that I have actually stored these subdomains for later use in a text file. Why subdomains are important? Because most of the time vulnerabilities are found in the subdomains, and they seem to be sometimes less protected than the main domain. So that's the reason we were enumerating subdomains with the help of sublister. Let us move on to the next tool. And when you have a look at the guide, you can see that how you can limit the results or make it actually go only on one particular search engine. If you want to look for some open ports such as port 80 or port 21 for FTP, 23 for telnet and all that, then you can specify those options with -p or tag p. So we are on to the section of doing people search. So now we know something about the network. We know the DNS. We know something about subdomains on a particular target on the internet. And now we probably want to find some targets whom we can social engineer, or maybe a list of emails or something, or we want to know about various dignitaries in a particular company or something on the leadership. Those kind of information we can do by finding out people or by doing people search on the internet. So this particular platform people.com is, I think it has become paid. So let's take an example from a similar platform called Spokio. Let's do a search on Mark Zuckerberg, CEO of Facebook. So with simple Google search also you can find. I don't remember the name of his spelling, so I'm just copying it from there. And then I can just give it so that I can get lot of information about his phone number, his address, where does he work, which city does he live in, and other details. So one thing I want to point out here is one that important thing that there are it's not only one person who has this name. So as you can see that there are 24 people named this Mark Zuckerberg in New York, California, and 10 other states. And this might happen with any target on whom you are wanting to collect the information. So this website called Spokio has actually categorized based on locations. As you can see that there are 5 results from Indiana, 5 from California, one from New Jersey. So you might have to, correlate or cross check with one or multiple platforms to home in, or to basically zero in on the person that you're trying to search. So let's say I go on Wikipedia, a trusted source, and I see that this person is 36 years old. He studied from Harvard, and he has like two relatives. He also has two children, and his spouse name is also given. Then he works for Facebook. Now, some basic information with which you started, and then you need to build on that particular information, and then probably relate with a platform such as Spokio. So let's see, is there some kind of an information? So I can see that I can easily reject or eliminate people who are not 36 or around that age. So I can see people 71-year old, 57, 50, and I can easily filter that. Okay, yeah, there is one result that I can look at which looks like, and then this person is related to some individuals, whose name probably I studied here. I read here like Donna, Randy. So I can see that. So here I can see some similar names. So this way I can home in on a person saying that, yeah, this is the person that I'm looking at, and probably I can have access to his phone number. There are some eight phone numbers here. Some email address is also there. So because this is a free version of Spokio, this information is not shown here, and wherein you can unlock this particular profile by doing some minimal payment, probably, or some by taking some kind of a plan on this particular platform. So this is how actually you perform a people search. Okay. Then there is a tool called InSpy, which actually fetches information from LinkedIn. So as currently, if you go and have a look at its GitHub repo, this particular tool hasn't been updated to the latest Python version, so you might not be able to use it. See, it's the last release was version 3.0.0, and that is the one which is by default available with Kali. Okay, and but then you will have to probably clone it the way I did that. I'll let you know. And you will have to go to hunter.io to get an API key and then give it. So to clone it, you will have to use git clone, and then you will have to give the URL. So I've copied it from here, from Leap Security. And because it is already available in this particular directory, so I'll just name it Inspire 2. So once you clone it, it will actually download all the files, and then you can actually look at it. Okay, if you remember the command that I told you to list down files in a particular directory, it is there. If you look at various dependencies, you will find them in requirements.txt, on which it depends. So as you see, it depends on very old version of Beautiful Soup. Currently, they do not recommend using this particular version. And also, it if you have a look at the file, it depends on like it uses the Python 2. So you might not be able to use it. So with some tweaking, you can actually use it. So once you get the tool API key from hunter.io, then you can give that key here, and then it will work. Let me see if it is there in, like, once I previously used it. Okay, I'll very quickly I'll cover one small thing. Say I want to use Python's particular version. Okay, say 2.7 for it to actually run this particular file. Then I can specify that name with the complete version, and then I can run that tool. Okay, so I did not give any option to it. So it has by default given me the help message. Various options that are available for it are domain, email, and titles. And there is one positional argument that I need to give is company. So I can say Python 2.7 name of this particular file. Once I have cloned it and I have given the API key, then I can name the company, specify the domain, or let's do for Microsoft because most of the time we get good results there. Then we specify the name of the domain, and we ask it to do, search the emails for us. So let's say there are some, this kind of a format which is there for employees. So we can see that it's actually searching for some, email addresses for Microsoft.com. And we are getting so many warnings for the previous, because the, version of Beautiful Soup that we are using is based on 2.7 of Python. And this is going to stop after January 2021. Okay, so for this particular format, email format for domain Microsoft.com,
Hi,
nothing
Devendra.
was.
Sorry to
Yeah,
interrupt in between.
okay,
Actually, I can see a user named as Dreamwork shared a WhatsApp group invite link in the chat.
okay,
So we already noted the Telegram, this thing, the WhatsApp chat link,
okay,
and those who try to join the this thing, the group, whosoever, their registration will be
okay,
cancelled. Actually, this message is for the students. Actually,
okay, okay.
creating a third-party group is strictly prohibited, and a user shared a link of WhatsApp group invite named as e-hacking class. So those users who
Mm-hmm.
will be joining the class, their registration will be cancelled. This is just a notification to you all. Okay. So already we will try to fetch the information of the user who shared, and will cancel the registration today as soon as possible. Okay, so you can continue further.
Okay. So similarly, there are various other options given for email formats and the domain name that you can try. Okay. So I'm just going to clear the screen and we'll move on to the next tool. So in the end, I'll actually give the information on two good OS and web applications that are available, and these particular steps can be performed with a little bit of ease. Okay, and then now as various now these this information in the guide is actually outdated. Now there's no EMP spy or other various flags which are or the options which are given here. Okay, for inspire. Yeah, now there is also a tool which is mentioned to understand the CSS, HTML, and underlying DOM structure of a particular web application. And this particular tool called Firebug has been specified. However, Firebug was discontinued in year 2017. But similar outcomes or similar results can be achieved using normal console, like which is there in your browser. Say I go to a website, I can right click and click on inspect, or you can use the control shift I shortcut. Once you click on inspect, you'll get the information on elements. You have a JavaScript console. You have a tab on sources wherein you know you can have a look at various images, JavaScript files, CSS that have been used by the website, and various other third party calls which have happened while this particular application was rendering in your browser. Then you can collect information on network. And once you click on one particular link, what requests are being sent to the target server, those also requests can be monitored with the help of network tab. Then you can have like if you're developing an application, then this is important, but in this case it might not be that important. But when you actually have a look at the application tab, you can get a lot of information on what is being locally stored, what is there related to sessions, what all cookies are there which are being stored on the machine, any cache it's there or any application cache is there. Then you can have look at the certificate information. This is the normal dev tools which is available in Chrome. If you actually want to highlight a particular element while writing a JavaScript payload and all in near future, then you can highlight, and once you click on it, that particular link or that particular element will be highlighted in the elements tab, and then you can have a look. Now let's say you want to join this particular website, and it actually requires you to get an invite code, but I as a user of Hack the Box cannot send you an invite code. You have to figure it out yourself. So for figuring this out, this invite code, you need to have some information, some knowledge on using the console. Okay. So if you look at the console, this would actually give you some kind of a hint. Thus, this page loads an interesting JavaScript file, and see if you can find it. So you can do this small challenge, and while doing this small challenge, you will learn a lot about consoles, and it actually highlights a link to this particular JavaScript file. Said there was some kind of an error which was there. So once you go to Applications tab, wait, sorry, once you go to sources, you can have a look at these JavaScript files. So here there's a file called, invite api.min. So maybe you have to actually go and look at this particular file to see that. So why I'm actually mentioning all of this to you is that being comfortable with the console actually helps you in collecting lot of information over a website. And this particular challenge has been designed for people like us to go and figure this out by doing some kind of a puzzle solving. You can do this in a free time. If in case sometime in near future, if you want to go and debug, or you want to actually have a look at one particular script, so I've just clicked on pretty print, and maybe at this particular point I want to put a breakpoint, so that when actually I load this page, the execution of the JavaScript engine should stop here, and I want to inspect the values of some variables and all that I can do. So you can have information related to call stack, scope, breakpoints. So this is some details that you, if you want, you can have a look at this. So this guide also covers some additional things that you could do with Firebug. But as you see, Firebug was discontinued long back. So you can use the latest console tools which are available. Or if you are very particular about Firebug, then you will have to downgrade the browser version of Firefox and then use it. But because it was not very secure, so that's why it was discontinued 3 years ago. Okay, let's move on to the next tool. So similarly, it's like on Windows, you can, maybe it's available in the lab, and otherwise you can download the free version of Web Extractor, install it, and then use these options to extract the pages and information such as meta tags, the links, various emails and phones. So what this tool would actually do, it will go on the website, parse it, and collect this information and store it locally for you to show it in a UI, which can be achieved with other tools as well. So I'm going to skip Web Abstractor. Might not be useful in the current context. So there is a tool called httrack. Then with the help of httrack, you can create website copies, and then you can offline analyze them. If you remember, I showed you an example of using Wayback Machine of archive.org. So it is that kind of a similar work. But then if the landscape is very smaller for you, and if there are not many hosts that you want to uh, query in your OSINT uh, methodology or a framework, then it is okay. You can use this tool to analyze one or two hosts at your ease, or you can download and create a copy of those websites in the local machine. So I'm switching to Windows, and I've installed this tool httrack from its website, as it is given on the guide also. So once it is installed, you can actually, the first screen which is there, it shows you to start a new project, and or if there is a partial download which was going on, you could resume it. So once you click on next, you need to give a project name. The fonts are very small here. I don't know if it is they're visible or not. So maybe at later point of time you can try that. because I did not get any option of increasing the font size. I could not even zoom it. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to give a project. Say I say footprinting project 1. I give it a category. So say I say CH labs, and there is a base path that I need to specify, and then you can click next, and then you give the name of website URL. So I've given www.certifiedhacker.com, or you can use this button add URL, or you can directly give that name in the text box. Then there are various options that you can set. You can specify the value of proxy, the port, various scan rules for .gif, JPEG, files, zip or tar, or MPG or MPEG files. You can actually do, you know, as soon as you check this box, these values will be included. Then you can specify the limits, because it actually connects and downloads the data at a very fast rate. So right now, the target is certifiedhacker.com, which is actually meant for testing. But if you do try to copy, the files from an actual host, try to limit these sizes, and you can specify the pause, that after downloading how many bytes you want to pause it, or what kind of a maximum transfer rate that you want to apply, so that it doesn't raise any red flag with the owner of the system. So currently I'm going to leave it as blank. Then you click on next, and then you can specify the options of disconnecting it when it is over, or you can shut down a PC when it is finished. So you can actually, whatever settings you've applied in one particular project, if you want to save those settings for later use, you can click on, or you can choose this radio button. Now I'll click on finish and let it copy. So I'll just cancel it. So what it will do is it will download all of the information by launching 4 active connections, because that is what I specified, which is the default. Currently I'll cancel it because it might take some time. So you can do that whenever you are trying this particular tool. Okay, now once it is complete, you can actually have a look at the error log. So you can see that because I aborted it, it's written as mirror aborted. And if it faced some kind of errors while downloading some files, that also will be specified in the log. Now let's say you want to browse that particular mirrored website, then you can click on this browse mirrored website, and it will actually launch that particular website on in the browser. No, I actually canceled it. I don't know what it will show. Okay, at least some pages it is showing. That's how you actually use track to copy a website to your local machine. So I'll close it. Let's move on to the next tool. Yeah, tracing emails. Like, this is something which does not happen very easily these days. So if you remember, there were some tools that I mentioned to you in the previous session, and making these kind of tools work on local system is not very easy. So you might have to fiddle with them, and sometimes these particular tools won't actually connect, and you might face some of the other problems. So there is a tool smart, wait, which I had, email track pro, yeah. Okay, so I actually created two test email accounts, and I was facing some problem with Yahoo, and it was not working with Gmail. Then there were some connection problems that I was facing once I tried to connect it to Hotmail. And it is not like, even when you try to use it, it's not that user friendly also. So it kept on breaking in between, and sometimes its UI also stopped in between. So but you can create, if you want to use it, I was trying to use the trial version. If you want to use it, you can add the mail account, okay, by clicking on, wait, I'll just, so on the upper tab you have email accounts. So I'll just click on it. Now you can add your mail accounts by clicking on add, and it supports these many account types. Like you can define your custom account, or you can use these servers, mail servers like Hotmail, Yahoo, Gmail, Inbox, and Mail. So it basically uses POP and SMTP information and their port. If a server uses SSL for secure connection, you can specify that here. And this mail server information is auto populated for these account types like Hotmail, Yahoo, Gmail, Inbox, and Mail. So what it does is, let's say there are two email accounts, like one is of an attacker and another one is of a victim. And say attacker sends an email to the victim, and victim wants to know that this particular buggy email, which has some bogus hyperlinks, and I want to know where it came from. I want to trace it. So using this kind of a tool, you can get a lot of information. It basically analyzes the email headers, and information on proxy, even proxy, the sender's name, the authentication mechanism which was used by the user. All of this information it analyzes, that how much time it took for somebody to read that email, how many times a person read an email. All of this information is also is captured with the help of such tools. So let me show you one example on one such tool called Get Notify. So it was easy to work with. So you can give your name, and you can uh, you know sign up for it, for an account. And in the sign in form you have to give the email address. So I created a dummy account called stupid netizen at Yahoo, and it gives a sign in form, and I can sign in. And then I also had an account on Hotmail. There also I have, like, with the same name, I created an account, stupid netizen at Hotmail. Yeah. So if you have a look at Get Notify's documentation, so they would say like how you can actually track an email. Okay, so this is the outbox. And if you click on track email tab, you would say that if you send an email to someone with their email like host name, the TLD, and then you have to specify .getnotify.com. So there are some rules like to and from email address should not be same. And once you send it, then this outbox will be populated with the information on that email. So easy, simple. So what we can do is we can create a message to stupid netizen at yahoo.com. Okay, I'll just have to probably type it in full. So what I'm doing is I'm sending an email. You can think of it like okay. Let me go to Yahoo first because I have an account with the Get Notify using my Yahoo email. So basically, the attacker is the one who is at Yahoo. Okay, I'll compose an email for the one account which is at Hotmail. You see, stupid netizen at hotmail.com dot getnotify.com. So I've drafted an email. I've given the address also as per the instructions of Get Notify, and then I clicked on send. So you can see that it has appeared in my sent items, and in my victim account, if you see, the only information other than yahoo.com I have is email81.com, which might raise some kind of a flag as to this particular email has actually not come from an authentic account. So that might actually alert a user. Okay. But when I go to get notifies platform and I click on outbox, so I have that email here. So just because I read it, it marks this particular status as that it has been opened by the recipient. And once I click on it, it will show me the tracking details. Okay, say it was opened. It was sent on this particular date. Okay, and I can click on details. Say what was the operating system which was used. So this is something which is different. Okay, because I am using Chrome browser on Linux. So I don't think this is right. But anyhow, the IP address has been noted. The internet service provider has been noted down. The location is there. So because I'm actually connected to a VPN, so it might be, you know, it might have noted the wrong information. And it shows, somehow, sometimes it, with respect to Hotmail and Gmail recipients, it does not give you the right information. And that is there mentioned in their note. So, but you can try this email tracker with the target that you have. So let us move on to the next set of tools. I'll close these tabs. Okay. Yeah, for various whois lookup information, I showed you a website, the centralops.net. It is way more verbose and way more, detailed information is given in this website. So rather than the one that is given on the guide, you can use this website. You can actually get a lot of information from domain dossier on who's record, network whois, and DNS, and you can even enable the trace route and service scans. Okay, and the example which is given in the guide is of this tool, Smart Whois. So I'll just open it, and it's a normal simple tool which you can use. And in the address bar, if you see, you can actually specify the name of the target host. So I'll again give www.certifiedhacker.com, and I'll click on query, and it will give me details. It's the same details on name server host that we had. It additionally it has given the Alexa traffic rank. Okay, and it has also fetched out the phone number information, the location, and the address, the PO box number, and all. Then there are some email address, and they have given the small little good icons. One particularly pointing to an admin, and one particular icon pointing to the tech. So maybe you can try some other websites such as, let me try MIT, www.mit.edu. So here I have the IP address, actual physical address in Cambridge, the admin mark at mit.edu, a tech team email NOC, and then various name servers. And it has actually queried regional registrars also, like, and fetched me the details on Asia 1, Europe, then their primary NS1, NS1 on. And this particular information is probably from Akamai. So Akamai is a company which uh, keeps this information and distributes it over various servers over the internet. So from their servers, it has fetched this information. But here you don't find that whether these replies were actually authoritative or not. And akm.net is, I don't know, maybe Akamai, or maybe the hosting company with which they have hosted these websites. And you can have that particular look, uh, on these. So once you're in this smart OS, actually on the left hand side in the Explorer, as many searches you have done for IP host or domain in the address bar, it will keep saving it. You can actually print also these. So for your reporting purpose, or for in class purpose, if you're doing it as part of physical lab exercises. And then there's a button to clear it, clear the particular session. So in this guide, you will see examples on Facebook and Google. So you can try those also. I'll skip this Path Analyzer Pro probably as part of the lab. You can try to install it. The requirement for you to install this is Windows Server 2016 with administrative privileges. And it would take only not more than 5-10 minutes for you to actually use the default options and install it and use it. Main thing is to actually get familiar with these tools over a period of time, and as part of the exercises that you do. So for the certification purpose, you may not need very detailed information. You just should know that what all tools are there for what purpose. So let's have a look at the tool called Multigo. What Multigo does is, and in Multigo, I'll just try as fast as possible. So it is by default available with Kali. You can search for it in the list of the tools and then open it. So what you would find in this tool is transformations, like various people or the community have actually written transformations for specific purposes. So again, the work done by this tool is same, but it does it graphically. It collects a lot of information. So once you click on entity selection, you'll have a wait. Basically, using this tool, you can collect same like domain schema, emails, person, all of this. These information can be graphically be viewed in Multigo. So the only thing that is required is you need to create a map, a blank map, and then once for a particular blank map, you can choose from the entity palette from the left hand side. You can choose a entity. Suppose I'll choose a website. So you need to actually drag it. I don't know. My system is a little slower. Wait. Okay. So it gives you the default information. You right click it, or once you double click it, then you can actually give the name. Okay. Once you click on OK and you right click it, then you will give list of transforms. So say I give choose a transform which is related to DNS names. Okay. Let's see what transforms are they using. So these first few slides are on installing it, registering and signing up for Multigo account. Once you first time launch it in Kali, you will have to give your email ID and password. And after that only you'll be able to use the steps that I am showing it to you. So you need to click on a new graph, and then from the entity selection on the left hand side, you need to perform various steps. And there was no problem in using this particular tool. The only thing you need to remember is that for various transforms that you want to use, you might have to actually register for those APIs, and then probably give those details. So you can see that once you right click and you want to click right click, and then you're on the left right hand side in the context menu, you'll get various options, like you want to run a transform on IP address or server technologies, or maybe DNS names. Let's say I'll run a transform right now to domains. Okay, so once I run that particular transform, you can see the status here in the below bar, and then graphically you can see that the primary domain and the canonical name are listed side by side. Then you can just right click one particular icon and run another transform, and then you can look at it graphically. Okay, so this was Maltico. So you can run transforms in email, persons, people, and whatever database or the APIs that it finds, it can find that in those information on the internet, and it will graphically present it to you. Okay, wait. I think next is Recon NG. With Recon NG, you need to remember few basic things. It by default comes with Kali, and with the Recon NG command, you can use it. As a root user, if you're not using it, use the word sudo. And once you give the password, it will look like this. Okay, so it actually automatically takes you to a default workspace. So once you click, see the help messages, you can actually search for various modules in the marketplace, and then load them, and then run them. And you can see if it is the interfaces of the workspace databases working or not. And summaries can be seen in the dashboard. So the important thing is that once you are there in a context, to come out of a context, you might have to type a back command. And to exit from the tool, you can use exit. So straightway, any shell command might not work in this tool. So for that, you will have to use the shell keyword. So let me try just one command from the lab document. So these are actually outdated commands like show modules and all. They were there in the previous version. So as far as workspaces is there, so if you don't give any option to a particular command, then it automatically will give you a usage that you can either create, list, or load a workspace. So let's create a one with a name, and it will give you that you don't have the Google API key is not set, and you can use keys add command to add it. So you need to basically right now we won't do it, which is actually required for you to use push pin module if you are creating some kind of a map and you want to apply the pins on that particular map in your reports, then you need for that. So as soon as you create a workspace in the context, you can see that that particular workspace is there. So let's say if you want to search for a module, then you say marketplace search. Say I want to search netcraft module. Okay. So when you say in marketplace search netcraft, it would show you its path, version, and when was it updated. And if it is already installed, then it will say installed. And if it is not installed, then it will say not installed. So if you want to use it, then you need to say module load. So as soon as you load a module, your context will change and you will come inside netcraft. Then you can see various options. It works on the same semantics which is there for the Metasploit. So if you're a little bit familiar with it, you can use those. So you can see whether you can set hosts or domain or not. So let's see if some hosts are there already. So there are no hosts, no domains. So for them, you might have to use, let me see, options. Okay. So, so suppose sometimes if you do not remember, then at that time you can actually have a look on particular latest documentation for that which is available. Okay, when you say show options, yeah, this is the command options set, and then you can set the source. So for netcraft, I think there is nothing. Yeah. Anyways, you can try that, but there is something for hacker target. Okay. So I'll just say back. So we'll say modules, marketplace, search, hacker target. Yeah, it is installed. We say modules, load, hacker target, and then we see options. Okay. So this is the command. Options list. So if you say options list and then you say options set source, I think for the previous one that we were using, the previous module, we did not see the various list options which are available for that particular module. So we set the source and we get a message certifiedhacker.com. And once all the options for a particular modules are set, then you can click on run. So once it runs, it will like for this hacker target actually brings you the IP address, and it should have fetched longitude and latitude, but those modules are not added yet. So if those resolve and geo IP related modules are loaded, then you would be able to get this information as well. So with the exit command, you will be able to come out of it. So now let's have a look at Metasploit and the harvester. Harvester also I had to actually go on GitHub and take their recent repo to make use of it. So I'll just show it to you. And sourcing. So it actually works with Python. I was working with Python 3. So as you can see, you can specify a domain and you can limit the number of results that you want to get. Okay. Then you can actually, okay, wait, let me say minus, I mean, tag h. So I want this particular tool to go, if I want to go, this tool to go on Shodan or use Google Docs, then I can do that. I wanted to do DNS server lookups for me, then I can specify this flag. Also, if there's active footprinting or recon that I want to perform, then I can mention the taxi option, and I can save the results to an HTML or XML file by giving tag f. Now, the important thing in this is to remember that while specifying the source on one particular source, such as Google, Bing, or other search engines related to LinkedIn or Twitter, VirusTotal platform, if one is not working, maybe another platform would probably work for you. But I like to use minus B all, with respect to the queries or the commands that I send using the harvester. Okay. So we actually used, if you remember, Microsoft we were using. Okay, and right now I don't have API keys for Shodan for this particular class, so I won't give those options. But I wanted to actually do a DNS server lookup, and then I wanted to search all uh, the sources which are listed here, and I wanted to save those results in this particular file. Yeah, say I wanted to search, do the DNS resolution using this. So if it does not actually, or if it reports some API keys and all those things are missing, then you do not need to worry about it. But if you want to specify those, let it search, and I'll let you know where you can go and specify the API keys. So using Vim, so if you go into etc the harvester, and you can uh, look at API keys.yaml, and there you can actually specify the keys for Bing, for GitHub, for Hunter, for Intellex. So by default, for Intellex, one particular key is given here, the installation that I have. So for Shodan and security trails and project discovery also you can. So some kind of an exception if is there in between right now with respect to my system, it is showing SSL context error because it is not able to connect to 443 port on Baidu and others. Then Google is actually blocking this particular IP. Okay, so these kind of errors you might also face, but it doesn't matter. Some of the other results it will be able to fetch, and you might not always be in a stable environment, so there is nothing to panic in that case. So whatever is available and whatever is possible in a particular environment, you can go ahead with that. So after running this command, it actually produces this kind of a file. I'll just show it to you on my the previous one that I tried. So it produces a file called results.xml, which you can have a look at. And it is a good scan report. And then whatever plugins it has used, it mentions those. And with respect to that, whatever results it could fetch, it shows you on the right hand side column. So you can actually filter these records by host or an IP or other device information. It can actually, it has brought a lot of IPs, and with the help of DNS resolver, it has been able to do that. Okay. So this was Harvester. I think the last scan is still going on. So I'll just, anyhow, it's another file. So I'll just close it for now. And with Control C, you can actually interrupt. So with Recon NG also, you can bring some personal information by using some modules like who is POCs and some other tools that are mentioned in the guide. With respect to, okay, that push pin is also there, which relates to geocode and reverse geocode information you can bring using these modules. Yeah, Foca actually has changed, and I don't think it is still available. But if you can get hold of the previous versions of Foca, then you can use them and use it on Windows. Yeah, OSR framework, I haven't used it, so you need to try that on your own. But yeah, there is an OSN framework that also you can have a look at. So wherein it gives a beautiful mind map kind of a thing. Say you want to query on telephone numbers, then which all particular tools you can have a look at. Okay, maybe there is something that you want to discover on dark web. Someone asked about it. So what all directories you can go and search. So this is also quite useful. Maybe some information you want on the emails, then have a look at that. Then there is a project called Project Discovery.io. That this is quite useful, and they like everything is open source on this platform. Okay, where they have a project repositories on GitHub, and they have good subdomain finding tools such as Subfinder. Then you can do some targeted scanning using nuclei. You can use DNS probe for all the DNS related queries that we were using. The other tools also we were using, and they are quite good. Then there is a, and these project discovery databases are also fetched by Harvester also. So it depends, like you want to use the tools individually from project discovery, or you want to use Harvester and include those results with the Harvester results. Then this is also quite good, intellex.io. You can have look at their tools, so such as this phonebook.cz. say on a particular domain, you can actually give regular expressions also there. Say on ci.gv gov, I want to list the email addresses. Yeah, so it takes a little bit of time, so maybe you need to wait for it, and it will actually list all the email addresses that are associated with that particular domain. So why you want email addresses? To actually analyze that what all emails can be publicly collected, and they are vulnerable to be sent phishing emails or some other targeted attacks. So similarly, you can search for CNN and then others. So whatever your target that you want trying to pen test on, then you can give those and find out the emails from here also. Okay. So as per the guide, I have seen that Metasploit also works. I mean, there's no problem in using the command which are listed here. Okay, the only thing that you need to take care is that try to use the root user. Okay, and to launch Metasploit on your command prompt, you will have to use MSF console, and it will start the framework console for you. So if you are using it for the first time only, then you need to check, with this command db status. If it says that it is actually connected to MSF and the PostgreSQL is there, the connection type, then it is fine. If it says some other message is there, then you probably would have to use systemctl command to first, start the PostgreSQL service. PostgreSQL, I hope you are aware that PostgreSQL is a database. Okay, and if it is started already, then you should be able to create status also. So if it has not started, then just see what is the status. It might be in some kind of a dead, or it might be sleeping. So after enabling or starting this particular service, then you need to initiate a db init command. But before that, before doing a db init also, you might have to use this command, sudo msfdb and init. So once sudo msfdb init is there, if it is the database service is running, then it will create it for you. And then after initiating the DB, the MSF DB will be created in PostgreSQL Server. And then you can use Metasploit by using MSF console command. And here also workflow is quite similar to what we saw in Recon that you have workspaces, you have modules, there are commands to, and you can actually use help message to see the examples, that how do you actually set various options but related to a particular exploit or aux. Okay, if there are some, then you can see db status command. And if you want to create some kind of a scanning using nmap, then you need to use db nmap command. Say I say db nmap and I want to scan a particular host. Let's say some ports, say 21, 23, 113, etc. on my target host. Then I can do that. So once you see that all of those services and their state will be listed here for you in the UI. Okay, then there are some specific commands to save them for later use. Those you can have a look at the guide, and it will give you some options. Then there are various nmap scanning flags if you want to do a stealth scan or a Christmas scan as per your requirement. Then those scans you can conduct. You can save them into a DB, and then you can import those results for later use. So as you can see that the address and the name of the host is there, and it is stored for later use. For this, this is a default workspace, but you can create your own. So I think that this was the last tool that we were supposed to discuss in this session. Okay, so we can end with it.